So, to make a long story short, type 2 diabetes is something that you can beat.
Welcome back. Black man, what's up? If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Power of Healthy Habits, where we talk about small healthy habits that can transform into large transformations in your life. Today we have a special guest. His name is Bobby. He's from Yucatan Adventures. That's his channel. I'll try to pin that here. And we're going to talk a little bit about his journey in health and wellness and share some of the habits that he picked up. As you may know, I've been talking about on this most recent series high blood pressure and trying to get young men to start measuring their blood pressure earlier. And Bobby is going to add other items to be aware of and cognizant of in their journey. So Bobby, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All good,
Yes,
all good.
yes,
Appreciate
yes,
you, bro.
yes. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Good.
Right on. So you got the coffee?
Yeah, I got my morning coffee in me. You know, I need that to get my day going.
Right
Of
on.
course, no sugar.
No sugar?
Cream only. There's enough sugar and cream.
Right.
Sorry, enough sugar and cream. So, yeah, no sugar, man.
Okay.
But today's a beautiful day out here in Merida, and thanks for having me on the show.
I appreciate you. First of all, I'm happy that we met, and then you invited me out to go to an event, a music event, and it was culturally rich and diverse. So I appreciate you welcoming me into the community, and then allowing yourself to have the time to join the Power of Healthy Habits.
Yeah. Anything I can do to help.
Right on, bro.
Anything I can do to help us as a culture, us as a people. A lot of times we sweep things under the rug.
Right.
You know, may it be our health, may it be our wealth, or may it be our happiness. So yeah, thanks for having me, and hopefully this video will help.
Right on. So when we first met, we talked a little bit about what we do, and I shared a little bit about Amani Lyfe, my channel, and some of the information that I'm trying to bring to our viewers, especially Black men. A lot of times we are just in our zone of working or going to the next task, and that doesn't mean that other people aren't in that same zone. But if you're a single Black man, or if you're a married Black man and you're just not aware of how taxing life can be, bringing to the forefront and to the attention of those people who just don't know what's going on. And you shared with me very candidly some of the experiences you were having based on the lifestyle, which wasn't a bad lifestyle. It's just in America, in the United States of America, that is, sometimes the standard American diet and lifestyle can be detrimental to health and wellness.
Yep.
So, in your own words, please just share what were some of the signs that you had, and then what were the moments where you actually came to the point and you said, okay, I got to do something. Was there a rock bottom moment? And it never has to get to a rock bottom moment, and that's actually what we're trying to prevent.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to wait until you're almost terminally ill before you make changes. So of course there'll be opportunity to expound on that, but you can just share how you felt and what experience you might have had with a doctor. And
yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, you know, Black men, we are 60%. We have a 60% chance that's higher than a white male to get prostate cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. A lot of it is hereditary too, you know, so we get it from our parents, you know, we get it from our ancestors. And my dad was a diabetic, but when I would go to the doctor, you know, they asked this question, you know, does diabetes run in your family, you know? And I would always say yes, not really knowing that it would affect me in the long run because I was successful to it because my dad was a diabetic. So all through my early years, you know, growing up in the ghetto, growing up in the inner city, the diet just wasn't the diet is what you, I mean, the access that you have to the food is basically your diet, you know, and the access that you have growing up in the city and, you know, lower class neighborhoods is that, you know, you see a lot of fast food restaurants, you know, you see a lot of corner stores, you know, so first 15 years of my life, that's what my diet was, you know, Burger King, McDonald's, corner store pizza, chips, what they call that, the red juice, what they call it, they just call it juice, you know.
Okay.
And, you know, I ate that all my life, but it wasn't until I got into my mid 30s is when it really started affecting me.
Okay.
You know, and your body will tell you things that you may sometime ignore. Right. You know, like you might have chest pains, you know, you might have headaches, you might have blurred vision, but you don't go get that checked out until it's too late, you know, and in most cases, our people never get checked out. Right. So I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about 3 years back. Okay. So before you were diagnosed, you had mentioned some of those signs. Did you experience those things yourself personally? What I like to say now is we have to learn how to listen to our body, because those signs that you mentioned are basically communications that the body is telling you. You know, just like when you get tired, you may not necessarily yawn, but if you nod, if you're sitting upright and you nod, then something is time to take a nap. It's time to take a nap. So yeah, you're exhausted. Were those symptoms that you mentioned, chest pains, or are those some of the symptoms for you specifically? Maybe not for everyone, but for you. Yeah, you know, and it's like I was telling you earlier, your body talks to you, you know. Right. And I had, so the first time I found out I was pre-diabetic, my doctor was like, okay, you have signs of pre-diabetic. Your glucose is high, your blood sugar is high. We need you to start exercising. Right. You know, you need to start exercising. You need to get on the Mediterranean diet. And I said, yeah, okay. So was that 5 years ago? So that was about 4 years ago. So that was before the diagnosis. It was before the diagnosis. Okay. So my doctor was telling me the whole time, but I made small changes, but not enough. So like I was going for walks, but I didn't stick to the Mediterranean diet. Okay. So I'm on a yearly, you know, I need you to come back in a year. We're going to check you out, you know, get your blood work done before you come in. We're going to check you out, you know. But after like year 2, my body started telling me things that I was just ignoring. So hopping up in the middle of the night, like I'm laying in the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm hopping up, chest is beating out, my heart is beating out my chest. It's like I'm not getting blood flow to my heart or something like that. Yeah, so you resting. Yeah. Like a lot of times they say, take your resting blood pressure. So you literally are resting, but your heart is racing as if you just ran a mile or something like that. Yep. The next thing happened to me is that my anxiety just went through the roof, man. I'm driving down the street and all of a sudden a thought crosses across. I have this thought in my head, you're gonna die. Okay. And then I'm like, like what the heck is going on? Right. Gotta pull over on the side of the road. My body is telling me, hey, you're not functioning right. You know, you need to get checked out. Now I'm at work. I'm helping. I used to work in banking, you know, back in the States. I'm at work helping clients. Again, this thought just it overwhelms me. Like something's about to happen to you, you know. And it's like and I, you know, like, give me a moment.
Yeah.
So I finally reached out to my doctor, and I say, hey doc, something's not right. I'm having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. My chest is starting to hurt. I feel fatigued, and I'm having suicidal thoughts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm having suicidal thoughts because I feel like not like I'm going to kill myself, but I feel like I'm going to die for whatever reason. I'm just anxious for no reason.
Okay, you're having not suicidal thoughts. Then you're having thoughts that that death is near and present.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is very different from suicide or homicide in general.
Right.
But you're concerned. You have fear that you're going to die. Maybe
From
not immediately, but
yeah, from something.
Yeah,
something's killing me.
Yeah,
but I'm ignoring it. I'm just ignoring
it. And it had nothing to do with any external threats on your life, right?
No.
Okay.
I will say that I went into a deep depression.
Okay.
So I think that's where that suicidal thought comes in.
Okay.
You know, I went into this deep depression. Like, some days I was just like, you're not gonna make it. You know, you're going to die. Okay. You know, I wouldn't say suicidal, but like you said, it's just thoughts of like, I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
You know, so it got to the point where I was like, okay, doc, reached out to my doctor. Hey, sent him a message. Doc, something's not right. I need to come in and get a emergency checkup. You know? Okay, well, I'm busy, but you can see my nurse practitioner. I said, okay, that's fine. So I go in. Actually, I got to get my blood work done. I go in, I see her. This is like maybe 3 months after I had my initial checkup. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, my doc was like, yeah, you, actually, she was more like, congratulations. I said, what? She was like, you have type 2 diabetes. Now, my doctor told me I was a pre-diabetic.
Right.
But I just ignored everything he told me to do except for exercise.
Right.
But as far as the exercise was going, the only thing I really did was walk. Like I told you, I used to walk.
Right.
You know, I got from 2 miles to 3 miles to 5 miles.
So I'm smiling a little bit. I'm only smiling because when we talked initially, your animation, the way you just said it just now, you were like calm. Yeah. But the way you said it when she said congratulations,
oh yeah,
you got type 2 diabetes was like, you were like,
yeah,
saying
so she, I mean, it was more like a celebration.
Yeah.
You know, when she walked in, she was like, congratulations. I said, what? I said, what's going on? She's like, you have type 2 diabetes. And I said, what?
Which is crazy work, though.
She was excited about that. But let me tell you why she was excited about that.
Right. This segment was proudly sponsored by ABOB, also known as ABOB. ABOB is committed to empowering our people by reconnecting us with the strength, resilience, and legacy of our heritage. ABOB is a call to action, a reminder that the world is always better on our culture, our creativity, and our resilience. Remember that. It's time to do the same. That's really
big Pharma's real.
Right.
You know, Big Pharma is real. They want us. They need us to sell prescriptions, to give referrals. You know, so when she told me that, she said, "I'm going to put you on high blood pressure pills.
Right.
I'm going to put you on cholesterol pills. I'm going to put you on high blood sugar pills, which is metformin.
Right.
And I'm going to give you one touch. So one touch is the thing where you poke your finger to test your blood sugar.
Right.
Man, that one touch and those little bitty needles that you use to put into the one touch.
Yeah.
Brother, we're talking, without my insurance, we're talking about $3,000.
Yeah.
And I got to get those refilled.
Right. That's consumable.
So yeah. So I wonder. So I know now why she was excited, because, you know, she's about to give me a referral for all these medicines, and she's making money. Big Pharma's making money. The doctor's making money. But me, I don't feel like they were really looking out for my best interest.
Right.
Because because of her whole attitude about it. You know, it wasn't like, oh, you know, I'm sorry to say, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that some of those doctors, depending on how many people they see, since they have this thought in their mind, because this is work for them, they have this thought in their mind. I told you last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made some changes, but I told you.
Yeah.
And you should have been doing it. So then they come back in the office and it's like, yeah, congratulations.
Right.
Here you go. This is what you worked for.
Right.
But the you know, that feeling of insincerity is like, I mean, I know you told me and everything, but
you shouldn't be.
You really looking like you gleeful out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So what did you do after that?
So let me tell you.
After they gave you a prescription for reducing your blood pressure.
Yeah.
Your high sugar level and cholesterol. What'd you do?
So my wife is a nurse. So first, you know, I called her with the news. So let me back it up a little bit. That's what my body was telling me.
Right.
And I was ignoring it. And that's what was giving me anxiety because something didn't feel right. My body was telling me, brother, you have type 2 diabetes. You need to do something about this right now.
Right.
Now, let me back it up. I almost passed out at work too. I got lightheaded one day. I almost had a stroke one day. I think that was my final straw.
Okay.
You know, because I'm walking in to say something to my manager, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh shoot. Excuse my language.
Yeah, you good. You good.
I'm like, oh shoot. Okay, I gotta go now. You know what I'm saying? So, just to back it up, I went home. Actually, I called my wife. I say, hey, baby, guess what? I have diabetes. I said, that's what's been wrong. I have type 2 diabetes, which can be B, but we're gonna turn around. I'll piggyback on that. But I was like, yeah, I have type 2 diabetes. And she was like, you okay? She was more sincere than the doctor. You okay? Everything gonna be all right?
She better be.
Yeah. Even my coworker was like, oh, Bobby, damn, you know, that's why you've been tripping lately, acting, you know, that's why you've been feeling off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, yep. I say I gotta drop this prescription off, and I'll be on my way home.
Right.
So she's like, what they give you? I said, I don't know what this stuff is. I say, when I get home, I'll show you. So she saw all the medication, and she was like, oh no. She's like, you're not gonna be taking this. You're not gonna be taking that. She said, you don't need this. Because all those things have side effects.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to work, but you got to think everything that you put in your body is going to be a side effect to it.
Right.
So she was like, we're going to fix this. And I said, okay. She had already been doing workouts.
Right.
HIIT workouts, high intensive intermediate, training.
Right.
She's been doing HIITs. She had been doing HIITs a whole year prior because, you know, she was trying to get her weight down. You know, we're up in age now, so you know, working out is key.
We're up in age.
We're up in age. I mean, I still feel young, but we're getting up in age where she was like, okay, we got to start working out. But she was like, nope. She's like, only thing you're going to take is metformin. And we're going to test your blood sugar. Now we have to now mind you have to test your blood sugar 3 times a day.
Right.
You got to poke yourself 3 times a day.
Right.
Sometimes the cuticle or the cartilage on this finger gets worn out.
Yeah.
So you got to switch to the other finger. You know.
How long did you do that for?
Yeah.
Did you do it for like a year, 2 years?
So the medicine.
Yep.
The high blood. I took those for. I still took them because I said, you know what, babe, the doctor said I gotta take it. She's like, okay, but you don't need those.
Okay.
So I took those for like 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
You know, I started doing the HIIT workouts. You know, also I started eating less carbohydrates.
Okay.
You know, because
but you were still poking your finger the whole time?
Still poking my finger the whole time. I want to see what's going on.
3 times a day?
Yep, after a meal.
Okay.
You know, maybe 30 minutes or an hour after a meal.
Okay.
When I wake up in the morning, before I go to bed. I tried to do it after a meal, like, you know, because that's when you can really see your blood sugar rise.
The spikes.
Yeah, after you eat. So yeah, I did that for 3 months. I mean, I did the pills for about 3 months.
Right.
But the blood sugar, I continued to testing my blood sugar. I continued to do that the whole duration of the until my doctor actually told me no.
Okay.
So we started doing these hits. You know, every other day we were doing a hit, and in between that, I was doing power. You know, trying to build muscle.
Okay. So if I understand it correctly, your moment of reflection where you said, all right, I got to do something right now, was when you felt like you almost had a stroke at work.
Yes.
And then following that, you went to the doctor.
Yep.
And then you got your official diagnosis on becoming a type 2 diabetic.
Exactly.
And then after that, they prescribed medications, and your wife gave you some advice.
Yep.
And now we're in the part of the story where you're saying, I followed the doctor's instructions, but to reverse this in a natural way,
yes,
I'm going to follow my wife's instructions by implementing HIIT workouts.
Yes.
And what else?
Lowering my carbohydrates.
Lowering the carbs.
Lowering the carbs. A lot of people don't know that carbs, it breaks down the sugar in your bloodstream.
Right.
And there's carbs in every single thing. Carbs is in everything. Except for, like, you know, liquids and stuff like that.
I understand what you're saying, but you can be eating something and not know that carbs are in it.
Yes.
And you might even think that it's healthy. Like, you might get a granola bar,
right,
that's like whole wheat,
whole
oats,
wheat.
and all those things.
Yeah, oats. Yeah.
And you can have carbs. Now, there are also complex carbs that are like, you know, a sweet potato.
Yeah, sweet potatoes.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So sorry for cutting you off.
No. So basically, those two things really helped. I cut out the bread. So there was I didn't eat burgers for the longest time.
Okay.
Because, you know, the bread.
Right.
I cut out the pasta.
Okay.
You know, no more fettuccine, no more Alfredo.
I'm good with it.
I cut out the rice. You know, we love fried rice, especially back in St. Louis, where I'm from, man. We were like the capital of fried chop suey. I don't know if you ever had St. Louis fried rice.
I didn't know that y'all were the capital.
Man, yes. No one makes fried rice like they do in St. Louis.
No, I don't think I've been to St. Louis, but I don't think I knew that was a thing.
Fried rice, brother.
Okay.
So I cut out the fried rice. I like to drink cervezas, so I changed up my cervezas.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even know that a Corona has 14 grams of carbohydrates in it.
Okay.
So I used to like Coronas, IPAs, craft beers. I love craft beers, but some of those craft beers have like 18 carbohydrates in them.
Okay. I didn't know, or I don't know what the carbs are on most beers. I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
But in comparison to the beers, because you say you like cervezas.
Yeah.
But then we also got sodas.
You also have soda.
And I'm assuming that they probably comparable, if not more.
More. Yes, yes. So you can check the nutrition facts.
Right.
It's a little bit harder to do here in Mexico. But back home, you can check the nutrition facts. You can actually see how many carbs are in everything that you're putting into your body.
Yeah. Just to piggyback on that, I do think it's possible. It might be a little bit harder because of my language translation issue.
Yeah.
But one thing I do like about Mexico is they'll put that black stop sign on there. And it'll say, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It'll show excessive sugar, excessive energy, I think, which is like excessive carbs.
Yeah.
If you look at a Coca-Cola bottle, you wouldn't know because you don't. I don't think you drink Coke.
No.
You will see it looks like the shape of a stop sign, but it's black and it'll say excessive. But the other stuff, I agree, it could be more difficult. So
in addition to that, lowering my carbs, I actually I wish I had some pictures to show you, brother, but I actually had, like in high school, I was 141, 145. I've never been above 150. But as I got into my mid 30s and my 40s,
right,
I got up to 168.
Which for you was crazy.
Which for me was overweight.
Right.
And that was another thing that contributed to me having diabetes was my weight. And I didn't even realize that, like, I started working out, my weight dropped, all of a sudden my blood sugar drops too. So just to piggyback on what we said earlier, just started working out, man. Started working out, started eating right, started counting the amount of carbs I was putting in my body each day. I was trying to keep it around 100, 150. It's possible, you know, especially for like people who are vegetarians and vegans, you know, they're almost not consuming really any bad carbs.
Right.
I was monitoring how many carbs I was putting in my body, along with exercise, along with checking my blood sugar. So I did that for about a year.
Okay.
And I noticed that my blood sugar was in range. Sometimes it was low, you know, because you have a blue, you have a green, and a red when you're looking at the meter.
Right. Speaking of your A1C level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes my A1C was in the blue, and that's too low, you know. So damn, let me eat me a Tootsie Roll real quick, you know, to get it back up.
Right.
You know. So there were some times where I was like not eating enough carbs. But then after like a year, my blood sugar was in range for like a whole month. And those are the only things I did. And I reached out to my doctor. I said, hey doc, it's been a month. My blood sugar has been in range. You know, what are my next steps? Because I don't want to continue to take these pills. Not really telling them that I wasn't even taking those other pills that we mentioned. Just the metformin and checking my blood sugar.
Sure.
He goes, hey, you know, yeah, you're looking good. He said, you know what? You don't have to take the high blood pressure pills no more. You don't have to take the cholesterol pills no more. Just focus on the metformin and let me know how things are going in about 2 to 3 months. By the way, your checkup, by the way, I want you to start coming to see me every 6 months.
Okay.
I'm like, God, damn, I went from a year to every 6 months. This must be serious, you know? So yeah, we just went with that program. My wife was with me every step of the way, you know, stopped taking those other pills and reached out to the doc 3 months later. I said, hey doc, what's going on with this metformin? Because metformin it's designed. A lot of people who take metformin, they lose weight like crazy.
Okay.
You know, doesn't just monitor or help out with your blood sugar. It actually helps you lose weight.
Okay.
You know, like there's a lot of people who are just don't want to exercise, and they go get metformin illegally, or they do the Ozempic.
Yeah.
Ozempic. That's for diabetes. That's for diabetics.
Yeah, I remember.
You know?
I think I saw Fat Joe on a video talking about that.
Yeah. That's just for lazy people that don't want to work out. You know, don't want to make life changes. Want to continue to digest all this garbage. You know. So yeah, man. So we went back. So I reached out to my doctor. Went back to her, my nurse practitioner. So we got the nurse practitioner and the doctor. The nurse practitioner who diagnosed me with diabetes, but my doctor who I was communicating with, saying, hey doc, this, and this. So I go back for my 6 months, and after I get my blood work, I say, yeah, Dr. Lauren, I've been talking to Dr. Rodriguez, and he's like, I don't need to take. He told me I didn't need to take these pills anymore. I say, so I haven't been taking them. She's like, what about the metformin? I say, I'm still taking that. I say, but you know what? I don't feel like I need to take that anymore either, because my blood sugar has been in range for the past couple months.
Right.
She was mad. She was
the same one that was excited.
Same one that was excited.
Oh man.
She was
I don't know if I picked up on that.
She was like, so you haven't been taking your cholesterol and high blood pressure pills? I said, nope. I said, Dr. Rodriguez told me it wasn't necessary. She goes, oh. Okay.
Oh, and that's your gen prac. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, oh, okay. I say, yeah. I say, so am I good? She's like, yeah, I guess you're fine. She's like, are you gonna need a refill on your One Touch? I said, no. I said, Dr. Rodriguez also told me I don't have to check my blood sugar 3 times a day. I only have to check it once a day. And I said, you know, there's a chart. I wish I could show you. I was like, so here's the chart. I say, check out my blood sugar. I said, look, I've been in range for the past for the past 2-3 months. So, am I good? She's like, yeah, you're good. She's like, I was like, do I need to continue coming back every 6 months? She was like, no. She's like, we'll see you in a year. And I said, okay. So, to make a long story short, type 2 diabetes is something that you can beat. You know.
Let's pause right there for a minute.
Yep.
I want to congratulate you
Yeah.
on beating type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, right on.
Hold your thought. I want you to come back and finish your statement, but this is a real life example of someone who took on the challenge for himself to beat type 2 diabetes. And it means that it can be done. Another thing that I want to highlight that maybe was missed is that you consulted with your doctor before doing anything.
Yeah.
And then took the doctor's advice and took his own health into his control while making the decisions down the road.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I missed was in our previous conversation was that when you went back and the one doctor that you just mentioned seemed to be not excited that you returned to a healthy state. Were you managing your own blood sugar by changing your diet, actually exercising and moving around and being cognizant and aware of what you're taking in? So that's kind of like a big deal, because exactly what you're saying, they're looking at you as inventory on a spreadsheet. We know you're gonna need One Touch. We know you're gonna need metformin. We know you're gonna need these other 2
high blood
medications that were helping you control your symptoms if you hadn't done anything, but you did everything. So so you beat type 2 diabetes. Congratulations.
Right on.
I just wanted to put that in there. And by the way, if you are receiving a message from this, please listen to your consciousness and make those changes. This is an example. Bobby is an example of a person who's done it on his own with the help of his family. And we're not suggesting that you should just go out and stop taking your medication.
No.
We're not suggesting
we're not doctors.
Yeah, we're not doctors. We don't think that you should just start going all in on working out and eliminating carbs, but you need to figure out what's going to work for you and know that it can actually change your life where you can live and be healthy and back to a weight that is familiar.
Listen to your body. Your body speaks to you. It gives you signs.
Right.
You know, if something ain't right, you're gonna know. Your mind is gonna tell you something ain't right. You know, I would say don't ignore those signs. Don't ignore what your body is trying to tell you. You know, because it can be life changing.
Right.
You know, it could be life threatening if you don't do anything about it. You know, my sister, because apparently diabetes runs in the family. My sister was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes as well.
Okay.
About a year ago.
Okay.
My sister is an example of what not to do.
Okay.
You know,
you don't have to elaborate.
Yeah.
But share what you want to share, but you don't have to elaborate.
She's an example of when you don't take advice. Like, I gave her all the advice. What did you do, brother? What? I told you what I did. You know, I check in with her. Hey, you stop eating all those carbs? Did you start exercising? No, I haven't done that yet. And I've been getting lightheaded, you know, and I ain't been feeling myself lately. I say you can't just, like, you asked me for my opinion, I gave it to you. I told you what worked for me. It can definitely work for you. You know, no, I'm just gonna take the metformin. So she's lost weight, you know, because that's what metformin is designed to do. But her blood sugar is still high.
Right.
You know, take advantage of the advice that they're giving you. You know, like he told me, like I said, he told me 4 years ago, okay, you have pre-diabetes. I'm going to put you on the Mediterranean diet.
Right.
You have to start exercising more. And I said, Doc, I didn't even know what I tried the Mediterranean diet for 2 weeks. I said, I ain't eating these wheat noodles. You know, I'm not eating Mediterranean soup. I say this crap is nasty.
Was it the flavor, or was it just the unfamiliarity?
The unfamiliarity.
So you grew to like this. Did you grow to like the foods?
I love it now.
You love it now.
I love it now.
So a couple things. Matter of fact, if you're watching this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. But what we're talking about is that addiction. We didn't really use that word yet, but you were addicted to your old palate.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like Chick-fil-A, whatever it is for you, you're addicted to that flavor and that feeling.
But the other thing is, not only addiction is we don't have access in most of our communities. We don't have access to a Whole Foods. You know, we don't have access to a Mercado where you can go get fresh vegetables. You know, I lived in a lower class ghetto. You know, I lived in the city of St. Louis, South St. Louis, which is rough. Only thing I had, no grocery stores. I had access to the corner store where I would go get processed foods, chips, candy, the juice. You know, that jug of juice. They ain't got a name for it. They just call it juice. You know, I lived in middle class neighborhoods. In middle class neighborhoods, I had grocery stores.
Right.
You know, I had stores that I can actually walk, which were in walking distance. In the city, there's no stores within walking distance. You gotta catch the bus.
Right.
If you don't have a car.
Right.
So I lived in middle class neighborhoods where I had access to grocery stores where the food was a little bit better, not as processed. I can make a meal now. But I also lived in upper class neighborhoods where I had access to like a Whole Foods.
Right.
You know, you ain't gonna find no Whole Foods in the ghetto.
I understand what you're saying.
But you gotta ask yourself why.
Right. Well, that's a socio-political dynamic that we can talk about. But I think if we focus on your point from a solution-based perspective, what can the people who don't have access by just walking to the store? Because those same people have access to the things that they want.
Yeah.
And it's not that they just go and get what they want every once in a while. They go and get it no matter what every day.
Yeah.
But some examples of what alternatives might exist in their environment. The first that comes to mind, okay, you don't have to drink tap water depending on where you live. And it's probably a good reason not to drink tap water.
Yeah.
But tap water boiled more than likely will eliminate any cause for being infected. And then you can also buy bottled water. That's an alternative to the juice.
Yeah.
But alternatives to the carbs and everything will require some type of work to get fruit, vegetables, fresh produce, or at least reducing the ultra processed foods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any other alternative solutions for the people who are in those environments?
Honestly,
there could be food banks. You know, I'm not sure. You might be thinking of what I can see you like reliving life in those years. Yeah. And you may not, you can't see it.
Right. Right. You know, all I can say is that diabetes is directly related to your diet and what you put in your body. Man, there's just not a lot of access that people have that's in those communities to get that type of that type of food or have that type of diet.
So if for example we're not talking about that experience that you lived, not to relive it again, but what are some healthy habits, general healthy habits that aren't expensive that people could implement right now?
Yeah, your bread intake. You know, eating bread. Again, bread has a lot of carbohydrates in it. So your bread intake,
reducing
how much bread you eat, reducing how much pasta you eat. reducing how much fast food you eat, less processed food, less fast food, more home cooked meals.
Sure.
I think that that'd be one of the fastest ways. Make a meal. Leave that Burger King alone. Leave that McDonald's alone. Leave that Pizza Hut alone. You can taste it. If you stop eating carbs and if you stop eating a lot of things that don't have sugar in it, and you go back, like I had a pizza the other day from Domino's, and the dough, I said, this tastes like straight sugar.
Right.
You could taste the sugar in these things if you just eliminate it from your lifestyle.
You got to cleanse the palate,
Yeah.
so you can actually taste
Yeah.
the poison.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's like a poison, but the accumulative result of continuously eating sugar over long periods of time is poison to your organs.
Yep. Yep.
And essentially, the effect becomes fatty liver,
Yep.
non-alcoholic fatty liver,
Yep.
or type 2 diabetes,
Prostate cancer, heart disease,
Yep.
anxiety. Anxiety is the worst. I experienced anxiety like I never had before. Like I said, it gave me thoughts that I was actually going to die. Like, dude, like I'm just walking down the street. Watch out! What? You about to die? What? And now I'm like, stressed out for no reason.
Yeah. The impact on your consciousness is real.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
how did your transformation affect and impact your family?
So my wife was already on board before me.
Shout out to all the wives out there.
Yeah.
Saving lives.
Yeah. My wife was on board before me, man. I was just like, girl, you tripping. I ain't finna do all that. I'm good. Because like I said, I was always skinny. So when I picked up some weight, I was like, okay, I'm about to turn this into muscle. I'm like, dang, boy, you finally getting big, because I was always skinny, I'm lean now, man. I'm down to 152.
Okay.
Which is I would like to have a little bit more, a little more weight.
Keep doing those HIIT workouts.
Right. But
so your wife was on board?
Yeah, my wife was on board. Kids, not so much.
Okay.
Like my daughter, I'm struggling with her right now. Because she doesn't understand the significance of what you put in your body or your diet, So I'm struggling with her right now, hoping to get her on board, because I have a guilty conscience, and I see her go in the refrigerator and grab those chicken bites, throw them in the air fryer, and when I see her eat all the stuff that has carbs in it, because I know better,
Yeah.
But now I have to teach her and train her that, you have to start eating healthy.
Mm-hmm.
She's 15, but you have to start eating healthy. Exercise might not be as important right now.
Correct.
But your diet is definitely something that you should take serious, So that's my next step, man, is to save her, if she lets me, but she's a teenager, and teenagers are going to be teenagers, but
you must be a positive example.
Yeah.
At least she can see that you're not just talking the talk.
Right.
You're walking the
walk. Right. So now, my wife makes something healthy. Like she made chickpea soup the other day, and I was like, hey, Leah, you should try some of this chickpea soup. I'm good. I'm like, no, you should really try some, at least taste it, but baby steps.
Baby steps.
She is eating more.
She wants the Domino's pizza?
Yeah, man. She wants the Burger King, man. But since we have moved to Merida, I will say that the food here in the Yucatan is different from back in the States. A lot of people might say it's bland. They don't have any seasoning.
Right.
But that's food. That's a good diet. You can have a good diet here in the Yucatan. And you can almost eat anything you want because they don't fill it with the crap that they do back in the US, because they're not looking for big pharma to make money off of it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They're not looking to hold you back with all these different medications that you're on, that they want to put you on.
Right.
So the food is different here in the Yucatan. I will say that. I even had relatives come and stay with us when we were in Cancun, you know, and all-inclusive resorts. And they're like, man, this ain't got no flavor. This ain't got no seasoning. I said, that's because it's made right. You know, it's not processed.
Right.
It's fresh.
Probably doesn't have pesticides.
Pesticides, yes.
Probably doesn't have preservatives.
Exactly.
All those extra ingredients to allow the food, which really isn't food, to have longer shelf lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're shopping in the middle of the grocery store, by definition, most of those products aren't food. Canned food is probably on the borderline.
I call that dog food. Wow. Wow. I mean, they're gonna, if you can feed it to your dog, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
I understand.
But yeah, you're right about that, man. And the food here in Mexico, I feel like it's just generally better than the food back in the States. So that's helping out. You know, she's eating more vegetables now. We're trying not to buy, you know, as much processed food. So we're trying to buy more meals that we have to prepare and season ourselves. So it's a working process, you know. I just pray to God that she doesn't end up, you know, like I did.
Right. Well, I think you're off to a great start, bro. You obviously are proof positive that it can happen.
Yeah.
Proof positive within your family.
Yeah.
And now for other people out there that may just need to understand that it is possible.
Yeah.
Some people receive a diagnosis and they are in an environment where they're taught how to just live with it.
Yeah. Just take these pills.
Right.
It'll help.
Right.
But it's not going to cure. It's not going to cure you. It's not going to fix you. And type 2 diabetes is the type that you can actually beat.
Right.
You know, I can eat whatever I want to eat now. I can eat a burger if I want to now.
Right.
I can eat. Like I said, I had pizza the other day. I can eat pizza if I want to now. Go back and I only check my blood sugar. I only have to check my blood sugar once a month now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, once a month is all I have to do now.
That's great.
I check it once a month. It's in range.
Okay.
I'm winning. You know, but type 1 diabetes, that's where you have to take the insulin. That's when you can go blind. That's when you start losing limbs. You don't want that. You don't want that. Sure. That's not reversible. For sure. You can't do nothing about that.
For sure.
So if you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, it can be beaten.
Okay.
You know, it's not the end of the road. It's not. Let me just say it can be beaten.
Correct.
You know. So.
Do you have anything else on your notes that you'd like to share?
No, man. I think we covered everything.
Okay.
I think we covered everything. You know,
right.
Again, thanks for having me.
No doubt, bro. I appreciate
I hope that this video finds your YouTube watcher as well. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is just my personal experience. And life goes on, you know, if you are diagnosed. And just, you know, when we were kids, they used to always say, well, first of all, when we were kids and we had gym class, they was telling us at an early age. Remember, we had to run the mile.
Yeah.
And we had gym class. We had to do sit-ups. We had to do push-ups. We had to be active. That was for a reason. They were training you for later on in your life.
Right.
These things are gonna come and play later on in your life. I would say everyone needs to work out. Everyone needs to exercise. It's good for you. It can only lead to positive things.
I appreciate that.
So thanks for having me, my man.
No doubt.
Thanks for your time. And again, hopefully this video finds your watchers well.
I think the viewers are going to love it. I think you've given a lot of inspiration to some people. And I just want to also mention that we have to save ourselves. That's the bottom line. And Bobby is an example of that. That's just probably the starting point. We have to go beyond that. We have to ensure that the next generation doesn't follow in the same footsteps.
Yeah.
Now that analogy in and of itself can apply to much more than beyond health and wellness, which is what this channel is about. Health, wellness, and travel. You have to find the environment that's going to support you to have a healthy lifestyle. That doesn't mean you move across the world. It means that you try to find the most positive environment that you have access to wherever you are or wherever you want to be.